Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pimlico Racecourse. Beautiful sunny day once again. Naomi Tucker, Keith Fustel. Keith, how are we doing?
I'm doing well. Another beautiful day here in Baltimore. Can't complain whatsoever. We're here, beautiful day. We get to bet the horses. This is kind of like stealing money, isn't it?
And
But I like to donate it back sometimes,
I
too.
like the stealing money
Yeah.
analogy here. Also, Stronach 5 Friday, but aside from that, we'll get to that in just a second. We have a Rainbow Pick 6 carryover that has been steadily growing since Preakness weekend. Look at that.
Absolutely. 600,000? That could take us to places we could never imagine, right? It wouldn't take me back here. I'd probably leave and never
I
come
want to
back.
buy a house.
And that
I'll
would
buy
be-
a house with that.
Yeah, everybody would probably like that. So, yeah, but the focus. I mean, we left Preakness on a high note, and we come back on a high note. So, yeah, it's something to target.
Absolutely, and kicks off in race number 4 right here. We have 9 races on the card, so make a note. Race number 4, start of the Rainbow Pick 6 with that big carryover. Of course, Friday means Stronach 5 Friday. We always say, thank God it's Friday, but we also know that that means a betting opportunity that is quite rich and quite varied. Starts right here in our nightcap, race number 9, leg B, Gulfstream Park, race number 9 as well. Before we go to the West Coast, Santa Anita Park, their 3rd race, Golden Gate Fields, their 3rd race, and then we finish things off with the 4th race at Santa Anita Park once again. So yeah, that race number 9, hopefully Keith and I can give you some horses to use.
Yeah, it's a really good race to kick off the Stronach 5. It's kind of wide open. I've got kind of 4 horses in the mix, but man, you could spread a little deeper. I'm looking for some prices there in race number 9.
Agreed. And of course, the Preakness was last weekend. That means that we're only about 2 weeks away now. It is Friday, Saturday, June the 5th, until the Belmont Stakes, the final leg of the Triple Crown. You can watch it live at Laurel Park and Pimlico whilst wagering on it as well, including advanced wagering opportunities on the Friday before. So plenty to do. Get your tickets, $15. Have a drink, have a bet, make it a fun weekend out. As we'll have a look at the current track conditions. As we mentioned, it's sunny and the temperatures have been rising steadily, haven't they?
74 right now. Feels like we're going to get close to 80 at least. Sun shining here in Baltimore. Not too many clouds. You really can't find any. Main track is fast. The turf is firm. Turf pretty fair, fast track yesterday again, but it still leaned inside. You want to be towards the inside the last few days, racing days here at Pimlico.
How about the main track? We saw plenty of speed hold up as well.
Exactly. Yep, and you got to take note of that. It's playing a little bit like the quote-unquote old Pimlico, just like yesterday. You had that horse, everybody abusing me for the 30-to-1 line. I wouldn't have lined that horse any lower than 20. I can tell you that. So that was what, Military Commander?
Military
It
Commander.
was a hunch play, right? Your
My reasoning was that
there
his
it
time
was.
form US
Yeah,
figures
I hear
weren't
ya.
corresponding with the buyers, and that's why I used him
Okay.
underneath. And then he went off at 5-1,
Yeah.
and we were both going, somebody knows how fit this horse is right
Well,
now.
and the speed, you talked about it. He was definitely the speed of the speed. He got a little help at the break. A couple of horses got off poorly in that race. He took advantage of it, rode the best part of the racetrack off to a very short price. I mean, people were hoping to get 15 to 20. They didn't get it.
No. I completely understand your morning line, though. You're
Yeah.
saying you couldn't have lined him any shorter than 20-1
Nope.
based on those single-digit buyer figures in
Yeah.
his last 3 outings.
Last 3 was almost 30-to-1 last time out. A slight drop in class.
Yeah. Well, let's get going with the 9 race card coming up. Race number 1, of course, starts the early pick. 12% industry low takeout. You're always saving when you're betting with the Stronach group right here, and always starts in race number 1. So you get your day going in the right fashion here. Race number 1 is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. Nickel claiming conditions, 6 furlong sprinting distance, and Keith, both you and I landed on the number 5, Family Fortune. We do have a video of her last effort 2 weeks ago where she took the challenge to a heavy favorite in Being Indiscreet that day. And Being Indiscreet ended up backing up, but she still kept on trying.
Yeah, she got the best of her riding the inside, which is still the place you want to be here at Pimlico. I thought the internals were okay, not blazing, but all in all held quite well, only giving way, losing by about a length and 3/4 when it's all said and done. Cougar Vision looked like runner. She's digging back in along the inside with Grant Whitaker. Grant Whitaker stays aboard this afternoon. She's kind of raced herself back into shape now. I mean, she was off a long, long time. She's kind of hit her top. I don't know if she's going to really run any faster. I think her main competition, I've got the 4. It should be the 3. That is my mistake.
I
Should
was
be
about to ask you,
should
what do
be
you
the
see
3.
with this 5-year-old
Yes,
man that the
no.
form reversal? The number 3,
No.
don't baggage
Thank you.
check, another speedster
Yes.
here. Perhaps, I'm thinking don't baggage check, maybe sit back and let Family Fortune kind of scoot over and take a little bit of a slipstream behind her?
I don't know. I think Don't Baggage Check is going to the front. And I think the biggest key for these Soray runners, and I'm sure he'll tell the jockeys, do not engage too soon. Don't get yourself in a duel, into the turn and then carry it. I think Don't Baggage Check will go, and Family Fortune will go ahead and shadow her and then maybe pick it up from the top of the stretch home.
I like that. Yeah, I used the number 1 on the rail, Shack's Hidden Gem. Sped clear last time out over the mile in 16. She had to cross over from the outside post as well. Took a bit of energy. Like the cut back to 6 furlong. Was joined with 3.5 furlongs so to go. She really gamely dug in deep, but just then went completely backwards. Always an angle that I like to use. If they just went a bit fast, that cutback might suit them a little bit better today. And at this level, worth to use a 10-to-1 shot underneath as well.
Okay.
Race number 2 is 5 furlongs on the turf, but also the start of the early pick 4. I do believe you created a ticket for us.
A little
Nikki.
$18 ticket. I wanted to spread a little bit more in race 2, so if you can afford it, do so. I'm going to use the 1, 7, and 9 here for the TV ticket. I might toss in the 2 Del Capuano horses as well if I can find a friend and help me out and afford a
You're
ticket.
looking at me here.
Yeah. Big money over here. So 179 to get you started. 2 deep in race 3 with the 3 and the 7. They are the obvious horses in race 3. Race 4, 2 deep as well. 2 and the 4. Trombi. A little chilly. Mike, you got to heat things up here a little bit for us. Help us out. Race 5, 1, 2. And 6. Right there. Price play would be the 2 Indian Heart. $18 ticket for the early pick 4.
Yeah, I definitely want to discuss Indian Heart with you because I kind of kicked her off my ticket. The other Grey Emotion runner is what I went with in that race. But we'll discuss that when we get to the 5th race. Race number 2. Fillies and Mares 3-year-old and upwards, claiming 12.5 to 10,000. 5 furlongs sprinting distance. Now, I love these 5 furlong dashes on the turf. So much fun. Also think that, anything can kind of happen, but I prefer to use speedsters or at least horses that are close to it to avoid trouble. You use one of them, the number 1, Lady Magician, for Jamie Ness. Inside speed, she's been able to carry it both on turf and dirt. Small break, comes back on a surface that she's been very consistent on. Those last turf tries at Monmouth, she doesn't kick late like some of the turf horses do, but she cruises at a high speed.
And that's going to be the key again. She drew the right field, it looks like. And from the inside, the hand has been dealt. Let's go ahead and send. We come away clear. Lady Magic, you go back to her last race going in September at Monmouth on the turf. Pretty good race. To look back, it produced the next out winner at Belmont that ran, a 71 buyer for Open 16. I think it's all systems go from the rail here for Lady Magic and Jamie Ness.
Yeah, I use a Bustin' Hearts on top. She's going to be lying close as well. I love the fact that first order of business for Crystal Pickett now in that barn is to put her back on the turf. She's been very, very decent on the turf. I think there's going to be pace flow for her to set up to kind of sit behind a little bit. And I was talking about traffic. It's not the biggest of field. 9 horses lining up in that race. I think she can navigate herself a good trip. I used the 9 Princess Killman as well. You have her in your exact.
I do. She's a deeper closer, but she's performed well at this level on the turf before, and Toledo gets along with her perfectly. I think that relationship is going to bode well here. She's fresh. She's going to have to drop in a little bit, save some ground. She can bring a pretty strong kick when she's right. I'm hoping she's right off the layoff here for Thomas McMahon.
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple of horses I like in this field. Some of the turf races today are coming up pretty decently in terms of competition, which is so much fun and so many wagering opportunities.
The wagering opportunities, but the multi-race wagers, you really that helps you a ton. I mean, what about yesterday? Did I look at the early pick 4 pool was 43,000, early pick 5 pool 69,000, and you're getting some action here at Pimlico, no doubt.
I mean, who doesn't like betting historic Pimlico?
Yeah.
All the stories, everything that happened here. And, we're looking at how the track plays every day. In general, it's very evenly. Now, we did see a little bit more speed, but you kind of know what you're gonna get here. And you know, we have our main players on here that are doing a tremendous job as well. Race number 3, mile and 16 on the main track for fillies and mares, 3, 4, and 5-year-old maiden 10. So trying to get that first win on board. We see this similarly enough. I use the number 3,
Okay.
Sheriff's Kid here, Michael Trombetta. This is a horse that's turning around in 8 days. Now, for the amount of runners Trombetta has, he doesn't often turn them around that
No.
quickly. Small sample, only 22 over the last 5 years he turns around. Now, look at what he starts over a year, over 200 runners a year, most of the years
Yeah.
anyway. So if he does bring one back, they tend to be fit for it, ready to go. Doesn't have the highest percentage winning, but over half of them running the money.
And once again, she gets you the right kind of feel. They thought she was going to be better. You look at the family, Candida H, I remember her. Maybe a little bit of a premature move last time. It looked like, could have waited. Just didn't get the job done. Opened up 2 and was run down. Freshening, I'm sure she didn't really do much walking into this and is ready to go. She should be forward against this group.
Yeah, you used the number 7, Nikki's Dream on top. Back out to the 2-turn mile for her. Didn't get the greatest of start. She wasn't as way as sharply over that 6 furlong as some of the others. Also got bumped a little bit. Had to be held back. I think she's going to enjoy perhaps a more roomy setup. She got a bit boxed in, didn't she?
Similar scenario as you talked about Company Clown yesterday, who got the job done. This one as well. A little bump at the break. Bottled up a touch at the quarter pole. It really kind of had room, but just had to be patient and had to wait a little bit and then worked its way between horses through mid-stretch, but finished up well into slower middle fractions. That's a good move, good angle that you brought up yesterday. We're going to ride it right back with Nikki's Dream.
Yeah, and both of us use Joyce G underneath. No speed whatsoever in her last 2 tries. I think it's time for a change, and this might be it.
Yeah, you got to put her into the race, no doubt. Breeding-wise, suggests she should be able to handle the distance. Maybe just didn't like that off track last time. And Bobini, is a horse, his 3rd time, here with Sammy Davis. A little improvement last time, willing to the wire. Al Cortez is going to try hard. Maybe saves ground and picks up a piece.
Yeah, I used the 5-2 underneath, but I must admit, I think those top 3 are the horses that are most likely going to have are going to go, the race is going to go through them, as you always so eloquently put.
Okay.
Race number 4, well, we know what race number 4 means. Rainbow Pick 6 time. I've been coining it all day yesterday, again today. That carryover is huge, 5,098. I can't even say the number.
$598,522. We're like on the Price is Right or
always
something.
laughing at me because in Dutch we say numbers in a different order. So I look at these and I'm starting to say this in a Dutch way, which is completely inaccurate. But let's call it nearly 600 grand because it will go over 600
Yes, it
grand.
will.
There's going to be plenty of money bet into it. I created a ticket. I'm going to say a gutsy ticket. I have my single come in yesterday, and I'm starting the sequence with a single. Now, if you don't feel like doing that, I completely understand.
Sure.
That is not something most people enjoy, but I felt my only opportunity to go tight is in this first race. 6 furlong, claiming 16. Non-winners a 2 lifetime. Self-awareness for Michael Trombetta. Only want to have run figures close to the buyer par. Hasn't been able to come home as strongly, but we know that class relief tends to help with that quite nicely. I'm hoping that the other Michael Trombetta runner in here, the number 4 Street Prayer, coming off a long layoff, 322 days, isn't going to be as fit as his stablemate. So I'm banking on that. Then race 5, I go deep. The turf event going long. 3, 6, 8, 9. I had to. I thought this is a race that anyone can win. And then in race 6, I used the 2, the 3, and the 7. Race 7, the 2, the 7, and the 9. Race 8, the 2, the 3, and the 5. You can see I like the 2 here, apparently. And then
I've got a lot of 2s today. But
good.
Yes.
That makes me happy to hear. $43.20 ticket. In the last race, I used the 1 and the 8 5 furlongs on the turf. Again, also kickstarts the Stronach 5 sequence. The number 8 is my top selection in that spot. God Loves a Sinner. Susan Cooney, 183 days on the bench, but she's been very decent off those type of layoffs. And 3 starts back, he wore down a front-running Nautical Nature, kept holding on from a late closing Joseph. I thought that was a decent performance, a freshener here, an easier company than what he found up at Aqueduct. I think this could be his race. And then I used the number 1, Nothing Better as well. Gelding by Munnings, first time gelding, so we love that angle for Jorge Duarte Jr. Has kept the right company to up in New York and then came down to Brussels. Also a break. We do tend to see that turf horses coming back from a little bit of a break, but that is my ticket, $43.20. My stab at this plenty bountiful
No.
Rainbow Pick 6 pot. You have to take it. You know, you have to try, right?
You have to try. Let's hope deuces are wild for your sake and my sake today.
I really, really
Okay.
hope I can get this ticket in here today. Race number 4, 6 furlong the distance, claiming 16 to 12.5 nominated to lifetime. And Keith, well, we already discussed this a little bit as we were walking through my Rainbow Pick 6 ticket. I'm going with self-awareness on top, and I'm hoping that he has that fitness angle, having only ran sort of the 9th of May comparatively to his stablemate Street Player, who also boasts the figures to be competitive in this spot.
Yeah, Zip the Lip is a horse you quickly look and you think, well, maybe he should show some speed. He did it 24.47 and 3 over this racetrack. Self-awareness comes out of a race 23.45 and 4. Really picked it up in that 3/4 of a mile race back on the 9th. So quick turnaround again. Zen Pai, a little bit of a fade, was called 2 and 3 wide around the turn. With a clean break, self-awareness should be right to the front, saving ground, getting on what has been the best part of the racetrack. We'll monitor that as the races go along. And I think his main competition is his stablemate, Street Prayer, who has run well fresh before, has posted some numbers that work, mid-60s type of numbers off the bench, and ran well first out. Really showed a lot of promise early in its career. So I think those two may be around the racetrack. And again, Trombetta trying to kind of pull out all stops. He's been aggressively spotting these horses, trying to get back on the winning track, which I'm sure he will do.
Yeah, for the sake of my Rainbow Pick 6 ticket, I hope self-awareness is the Trombetta winner, not his stablemate, the number 4 Street Prayer. But I agree with you. Street Prayer has run well off a layoff. It's a long one, though, 322 days. I think they've had a little bit of trouble with this one, to be honest. There's been a couple of breaks throughout his career. There was a claim that was voided. I think that was at Penn National, the 4th of March. So obviously, this horse has had some hiccups.
Sure. Yep.
Perhaps he's coming in here fresh, but I'm going to take the horse self-awareness. As you mentioned, if he breaks, he's going to be on the rail, and he's going to be the lone speed if he gets away clearly. As we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back for race number 5.
And they're off. Second in the 2-pap. Round off first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Pimlico Racecourse. Naomi Tucker, Keith Fusel, trying to pick you some winners on this gorgeous day. Race number 5 kickstarts a late pick 5 sequence, 12% industry low takeout. No carryover for that one, but a good sequence, a tricky sequence, which means we can get a couple of big price horses in possibly to get you that win today. Race number 5, fillies and mares 3, 4, and 5-year-old maiden special weight, going the mile on the turf here. And Keith, you went with the number 2 Indian Hut, and we do have a stat as well on trainer Graham Motion with these type of runners.
Yeah, this is maybe a little bit of a stab, but it's turf races, especially with the maidens, you can kind of count on Graham a little bit, right? Last 3 years on the turf, 4 for 16, 25%, and 6 for 16 in the money with the 3-year-old maiden fillies, following a 61 to 180 day layoff. 358 the ROI. That's good. I like that. And Indian Heart's only been on the grass one time. So on a tough course, Kentucky Downs, some horses don't travel great over it, right? A lot of undulations. But comes out of a race that was pretty strong. Fluffy Socks, your winner. As a grade 3 stakes winner, as a 2-year-old out at Del Mar, came back off of a layoff recently and just missed in New York. Doesn't have to improve a ton. That 53 buyer figure isn't great, but it's not awful compared to this group. I expect improvement. This is first time Lasix on the turf. Take a shot here with Indian Heart. I think this horse is going to meet a little cover, maybe set 3 or 4 or 5 off of it into the far turn, and I think we'll make a run against this group. I like that stat.
I like the angle. I had her on and off my ticket. Clearly made the wrong decision there to not keep her on it. But you know what? I like your angle, and of course Graham Motion. I do use the other Graham Motion runner in this field as well. But let's go to number 6, High Tailing for Sugar McGay. We do have a video of her start 2 starts back at Gulfstream Park, where that was a long layoff race she came out of. And then she had to strongly take back before the first turn, which we don't actually see, but there was a bit of traffic going into that first first turn.
Yeah, there was. She just broke a little bit slow, just the slightest of hesitations, and then she gets a little bit keen and behind horses. There you go, a little steadying back off of rivals into the first turn. Never really gets relaxed. Eventually, though, is going to start to steadily make a run up to it, and I think all in all, this is a pretty good effort from that tough beginning. You see the short comment steadied early, rally swings out, winner just gone, right? Time of Moonlight came back to run an 85 next time out. Hightailing didn't want the dirt last time. She's okay on the dirt, but she's going to be much better here from a good family down the line here for Stuart Janney. So I think Hightailing is the one to beat, though, in race 5. She's got the best proven turf form to me.
Absolutely. I use her on top for that reasoning. I did have an interesting stat on Shug McGay, though, because Shug McGay is terrific on the Mid-Atlantic Circus. 25% winners, 55% in the money. So those are all figures that we love to see. But then I looked up how his record's been at Pimlico. He's 0 from 10 at Pimlico, but... on the turf, that is, albeit 5 of them in the money, so half of them in the money.
Yeah.
So either he's just been a little unlucky, he brings them in here fit, he puts them in the right position. I hope that the number 6 Hightailing can break that spell on the turf.
When he's brought the maidens down, and now most of the time we're racing at Laurel, he's been deadly.
Absolutely.
In Forest Boys with the maidens when they come down on the grass course.
Yeah, so I'm trying to ride that high once again.
got it.
Hightailing, as you mentioned. And that, as I said, long layoff. She'd been away for a year and a half going into that race. So the fact that she then performed that way, now has had 2 races under her belt, gives her some fitness. We like that here on the turf. There's a fair few horses that tend to come in with a little bit longer breaks. She's race fit. So I use her on top here. You use the number 1 as well in your exacta. 1 for sure. Jorge Duarte Jr.'s blinkers go on. Javian Toledo rides. First time on the turf.
Yeah, I'm just taking the angle. This horse might show some speed. You look at the race, not a lot of horses want to position themselves up front. This horse is a half to not a chance, who ran some pretty good turf races, sprinting up here in the Mid-Atlantic Circuit. So I think 1 for sure, bottom side. There's some other turf in the family, right to the front with the blinkers on, second time out. And look at that second start angle for Duarte, 54% from a 13 horse.
Gotta love it. I use Kubi Snacks in my exacta because her turf try last time out, her first time on the turf up at Aqueduct, maiden 40 level for Michael Trombetta. Significant improvement, making me think, right, this is a turf filly. She's gonna relish getting back on it. And I love seeing that. You mentioned this before as a sire angle. Every time the progeny of that sire went on the turf, they improved significantly. When you see that with a runner in general, I'm like, right, I'm taking her next time out. That second time on the turf for a trainer that does very well, preparing them on the all-weather synthetic at Fairhill. I'm taking a shot here, but this is only the number 6 Hightailing is what we join here, and the number 8 Kubi Snacks underneath. I'd like to see what's going to happen in this race. Intriguing field here. Race number 5 kickstarts the late pick 5. Race number 6 claiming 10,000 to 8,000. Nomin is a 2 lifetime. Mile and 16 on the main track. Let's go and start with the number 2 Lost My Voucher, who both of us use on top. He was gelded May 18th. At least that was the report, because I'm assuming he's been gelded a little bit earlier than that to be able to get over it. But I like the fact that they made that, equipment change, as we like to say. Made that move because he was a little bit unfocused. He was a little bit rambunctious. I'm making up words. Bombastic. He had trouble loading. He always played up a little bit. So I like the fact that they said, you know what, he needs to just be a bit more straightforward, less hormones to deal with. I'm taking him on top, and the fact he's got speed and drawn on the inside.
Absolutely. He might get a little company here with Golden Warrior early, and I think he has the ability to sit just off of it if he wants to. If the jock decides, okay, we're going to rate back, he's got a move. He showed the middle move 2 races back, just a little bit of a fade, you're talking about. First time gelding angle. I think he's going to be very tough from on or near the lead and just save ground here. I think that Aladdin Sane, we've got a video of Aladdin Sane's last race, is the one that maybe will benefit if the 2 Lost My Voucher and the 3 Golden Warrior do hook up and get into a little fierce battle maybe for the 3/8 pole. But, yeah, this race is pretty good. This is 3rd time here for Cal Lynch off of a barn change. Makes a good run up to the inside. Has to wait a little bit, though, in this particular race. Just was stalled slightly to the quarter pole. Is going to eventually kind of find some room here. Find some room here through the final 1/8 of a mile, and closes up quite willing, and closing almost 4 lengths through the final 1/8 of a mile behind Martini Lane, as a horse that's kind of been right around at this level at short prices. So I think this is an encouraging try here. 3rd time for the barn. Aladdin Sane is going to be your main closer into the speed of the 2 and the 3.
Yeah, I thought this was very impressive, that latter section of the race.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, he didn't start sort of grinding out, gearing up for a close until at the top of the lane,
Yeah.
really. And then he starts picking off horse, kind of goes in between, has so much more momentum going for him. I use him underneath. I think there's plenty of speed for him to target once again.
That's sometimes, the jocks, that you know what part of the racetrack is best, and you stay inside some, but you're going to sometimes get bottled up a little bit by trying to take that inside route. But, that was fine for him. Maybe it would have been a little bit closer. I don't know if he would have won it. But you've got to ride the way this racetrack is playing.
And what are we making of the number 3, Golden Warrior, dropping down significantly in class?
Yeah, this worries me. We talked about this horse before. This horse broke its maiden, right? First time out for 25.
Yeah.
And then Dale runs it back for a tag. You have the option here with that waiver, right, and the 2 in life, and he opted to run the horse for a tag. They bit, and they ran the horse for 40, no good. Now, bam, right down to 10. And a stat, Ferry's done well year in and year out here in Maryland, but one thing he hasn't done quite well in Maryland is on these 50% or more droppers. He's only 1 for 20 in the last 3 years.
Oof.
It's kind of a staggering stat.
That's
I don't
a
like
really
to put
good
that out on guys. Tony's a good guy, and he's done well. But that being that at a short price, I'm not going to use.
No, that's a very, because I had the stat that a second off the claim, which it is 21% for Anthony Ferrier. But then when you said with such a big drop, I think that's more significant.
I'm just reading into the move that Dale made first time out. I mean, he'd been with that horse. He knew the horse and decided to run it back after the win for a tag. That worries me. So we just put that one right into the winner. So
We did.
Tony, go get your picture taken.
We certainly did. Let's hope for the connections that is indeed the case. Race number 7, another maiden special weight for us to dissect. A mile and 16 on the turf course. Both you and I land on my price play here. This is my price play. This is the horse I had on the tip sheet as the price play. Gave him out for the Rainbow Pick 6 sequence. Pharaoh's Fury, the blinkers come off, first time on the turf. Half brothers are closing. Bell was trained by Hall of Famer Bill Mott, ran in the Grade 1 United Nation, was a decent turf performer.
Yeah, there's other turf winners in the family as well. 8 winning siblings all together. There's a lack of speed in here. I'm hoping the switch of surface puts this horse right on the engine. This horse is taking play every race. I think it's going to be a factor, a forward factor, a long way. I go to the outside with the 9. Here's Trombetta again, Super Fortune by Cantheros. Those horses can run on anything. I like him as a stallion. Bottom side, there's some turf. She broke her maiden. That mare, Sweet Fortune, broke her maiden closing sprinting there at Penn National, I think, a few years back in a maiden special weight race. But this horse ran okay. Had a little bit of trouble out of the gate. Kind of veered out off track, recovered, angled out, and kept on willingly to the wire. I think the transition to the turf is going to move this one up as well. A little price play there with the 9. So we've
I
got
like
two
this
prices.
race coming. Yeah, we've got a price. But I use the number 7, Union General George. First-time starter for Arno Delacour. We know how terrific he is with getting horses going on the turf. He's been working on the all-weather at Fair Hill. I like that. Sire Union Rex, not the best
so much, right.
No, 5% winners going long on the turf. But the dam was trained by Delacour as well. And this is where I'm kind of going, okay, so he knows the family and still opts to debut this 3-year-old colt on the turf. He must be showing him something at home that he's more comfortable going over that, that synthetic surface, because she won going long on the main track. They tried her on turf and to no avail. They didn't try it again. So a really, really intriguing move here by trainer Arno Delacour. So I kind of wanted to be on board for that one.
I mean, he's a trainer when he wins, and you're like, oh, how did I miss? But I don't know what to do with this horse. I guess you leave him in your multi-race gimmick, because it is a spread type of a race.
Yeah, that's what I will do. As we move on to race number 8, starter 5,000 mile and 16 on the main track. Now, this is a rematch here. I'm looking forward to this one. Let's have a look at the last race for Belvoir as well as Invest, because that is Belvoir not getting out as cleanly. You can see he just stumbled, and I nearly had on my notes the poor baby ended up going last into the turn, whereas this is a speed horse.
Well, this is all, tip of the cap to the X-Man, Xavier Perez, who knows this horse like the back of his hand, is able to get him to settle and recover and make a run to get up. It was a very, very good ride for the X-Man. This is a horse that was 90 cents to the dollar. He's going to be a shorter price again today. We're going to see him come into the picture, just grinding it out.
More momentum than Invest.
On his correct lead and just wearing that one down, going right on by. So you would think, given a good break, he should be able to get it done again. He's held form quite well for Jerry Robin. No guts, no glory for him.
Yeah, I thought to myself, he really showed a new dimension, being able to sit back, relax. Indeed, massive props go to Xavier Perez for staying calm, because he was riding him a long way out. He had to start scrubbing him to improve position from before the final bend, and he stayed patient, and the horse kept finding for him. So if he, if anything similar happens, and God forbid he would kind of stumble or can't get away as quickly, sometimes you have that with these out-and-out lead horses. They want to get away so sharply that the ground starts moving underneath them. They're just trying so hard. So Belfort, hopefully that won't happen to him again, but showed that it's not a problem when it does.
It's not a problem. No. And at this level, he's been lights out. I mean, you can't say enough about his performances. Yeah, I think he's going to be really tough right back. Invest, another forward factor, second time off the claim. That's always been a good angle for Kieran. Got this one in good form. Unequivocal might be the one. There's a little bit more speed maybe signed on for this race that might benefit and move a little bit closer than what he did in that May 2nd race against these
I like the
horses.
fact that you used the 4 unequivocal underneath. I didn't get to him myself. Both of us used King Morrow. Similar situation here is the one that looks to benefit from a ground-saving trip, just seeing everything unfold in front of him.
He had a bad start last time, and he just got out of kilter right after that. I think he wants to go. He's got some speed. Maybe use that to his advantage in that inside post.
Absolutely. As we'll finish things off strongly here on the morning show with Lightning Round. And, of course, we still have race 9. I don't know how I mentioned to just do that. Excuse me to everyone, because race 9 is the start of the Stronach 5 sequence. I mean, that is very important. I even put my picks in for the All-Star ticket. So go to Twitter, check out the All-Star ticket as well, and hopefully I'll be able to get your sequence going off to a winner here. Of course, the 8, God Loves the Sinner, is my top selection as well. So is Keys. We do have a video of him in his outing a couple of starts back on the turf, right at Laurel Park, on a turf with some moisture, and he was chasing down a front-running Nautical Nature.
Yeah, and this was a pretty good field of state breds, right? Going 5/8, 5.5, I should say, on the grass at Laurel Park, and got into position and just ground it out through the last 3/16 of a mile. Sheldon Russell up this particular day. He's on that left lead, doesn't want to come off of it, but it doesn't matter. He's going to get the job done. Sheldon again back on today. This field right here, I think, is a little tougher, than what he faces today, right? Susan Cooney had a horse, Mosby's Ranger. Oh, that was a tough beat for us yesterday. In good form, ready to go. Second off the break. This is first off the break. Godless of Sinner got good against the right kind. If he holds form like he did, he brings it back close to that. He's going to be tough to leave out of your exactas. I think Battle Bus, you don't have the 2 in there. This horse I was quite fond of on the go back. I think a freshening is going to do him good. There's my angle first trainer I saw today in the parking lot, Linda Albert. Battle Bus.
That's a good hunch.
There you go. Battle Bus has a little bit more speed than what he's shown prior to the layoff. I want to see him up into the race. He's going to be okay here. I think he's going to be a pretty good price. Forced has got to break better, but he brings a lot of speed to the table first time on the turf.
He does. Well, I use Nothing Better, who's also going to be forwardly placed. First time gelding angle. Comes in here for Jorge Duarte Jr. Also has had a break. I loved what I saw from his couple of turf efforts when you go back 2nd and 3 back. That was tougher company he kept than what he's facing today, and he was trying so hard. Just came up with a little bit of lack of energy in the ladder section, but we know that if you drop down a little bit in terms of class, you might have to work a little bit less hard to be in front.
Yeah, I'm kind of confident with those. You've got, 8-2-1. That's good enough for me.
I got 8-1-5-3. You got 8-2-1-5.
Yeah, I mean, we'll circle around. I think if you're not going to use the 2, huh?
No, I did not.
Not at
no,
all.
I'm going against it. Look,
Okay.
look. I will buy you a beer if Battle Bus now goes on and win.
All right.
How about that?
We'll go horse for horse. I'll take the 2 as my price play. You got to give me a price, though.
Oh, hold on. The Force is 7-2. That's
well,
not
I'll
a
take the
price
2 versus the 3. How's that?
Okay, we'll
All
do
right.
that. Yeah,
There you
fine.
go.
Sky's not falling. Closer for Michael Trombetta.
All right.
Michael Trombetta's got his work cut out for me today. Clearly, I've got my hopes riding high on the Trombetta stable. I've got good feelings about this. Victor Carrasco on board. Victor, if you're listening, we've got a beer riding on you here. As I'm very pleased to announce that at this point, we are going to go to Lightning Round.
All right.
We've already talked about this, but we're going to be reiterating this. The team effort of the Maryland Jockey Club, the racing office, the hospitality, the broadcasting team, the team that's in charge of the track maintenance, the health and safety team. Everyone has contributed to us having a record-breaking weekend. Black-Eyed Susan Day. Over 27 million was wagered that day, up from the last record of over 21 million in 2019. And then there comes the bang, Preakness Day. Preakness 2021, the 146th running, over 112 million. We'd never broken the 100 million mark, and look at that.
Amazing. And you say the whole team, a phenomenal job. I forgot, Rodman, another flawless call. I mean,
Absolutely.
best announcer in the business, day in and day out. It's just a testament to what he's able to do. But looking at this handle, oh my gosh, I didn't really see that coming. But the one thing out of COVID, and we God, we're getting through it, right? It looks like we're seeing the end, but it brought a lot of new fans because people were looking for something to gamble on. There wasn't the sports, and people were watching racing, and the whole industry was able to kind of gather it up, put out a good product. And I mean, I can't tell you how many people that I know that really never watched racing do watch it now. So, I mean, if there's anything maybe good from our end of it, we did attract some new fans. And that's to all the broadcast team and everybody involved, the announcers that have brought the people, and the horses and the trainers that brought the people into the game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. You put it very eloquently. I have nothing to add there. I'm so glad to welcome in all these new fans. Let's hope they'll continue to support this wonderful game. And we thank everyone that has contributed to that record turnover. Thank you so much for wagering with us and supporting our product here at the Maryland Jockey Club and the Strana Group. As we move on to the jockey standings, we didn't get the chance to talk about them yesterday. Normally we do it at the start of the week, but look at that. Apprentice Charlie Marquez leading the board.
Oh, yeah. We've seen that time and time again there over the years in Maryland with an apprentice. We've been home of some of the best apprentices that have ever, gone on as journeymen. So, yeah, Charlie Marquez, he's going to be around, no doubt. There's Sheldon lurking again. He's going to pop up.
Of course, Sheldon will come up with a 4 or 5 day win and top the standings. But Carol Cedino riding high, JD Acosta's having a phenomenal meet. Javier Toledo riding as strong as ever. Trainer standings. We have 2 trainers vying for the top position here. Claudio Gonzalez, 9 wins. Kieran McGee, 9 wins. Now, we do know Claudio has a couple more bullets to fire, doesn't he?
He does. Kieran on his home track, though. He's going to be tough. And there's Ness again lurking. Jerry Robb doesn't quite. And Hugh don't have quite the numbers, but they've definitely made their presence felt over the last couple of years here. And Jerry has been a mainstay for a long time. Has done a phenomenal job. His percentage over the years impeccable. So, yeah, it's going to be a great race. Still slight edge. I'm going to give it to Kieran. We'll see. Ness has been rolling over the last couple of months.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to see these trainers and sort of battling it out, as well as the jockeys. We keep you up to date. We keep following the stories that unfold here at Historic Pimlico. And as I said it before, I'll keep reiterating it. Rainbow Pick 6 carryover of nearly $600,000. It's going to be big. It's starting today in race 4. You can't really afford not to play.
No. A great payout yesterday, 6 out of 6. I thought it had a chance. I was as things were kind of unfolding. I'm like, this thing, and I talked about it on the show. I said, this thing could go here on a Thursday, and I saw a couple of prices. Audacious Quality. I said, man, who could have had that one? Who could have had your horse? In the 30-to-1 morning line involved in it, but. Hey, the gambler's gonna, more guys were smarter than me.
Sharp handicappers.
We're gonna keep it going today.
Yeah, good luck to everyone that is playing today. Check out all our selections on pimlico.com, which also includes Tim Tulloch's selections. That's going to do it for us this morning. Naomi Tucker, Keith Fuster. I'll be back solo this afternoon, hoping to pick some winners for you as well.
You got it. Good luck.